Now sit back and prepare to be entertained.
Welcome to the Fucking Whatever podcast with your hosts Krystle J. Matar and Michael W. Fletcher. Today we are joined by Clayton Snyder,
Clayton H.
author
Snyder
of Blackthorn, Cold West, Obsidian Psalm. I knew that one was in there, and I should have like. Usually I call up like a web page with all the, our guests' books on so I can glance at it and go, what the fuck did this guy write?
You got
but in this case, I was like,
one.
I know Clayton. I know what he wrote.
And
Nebraska Groans and War to End All, which were co-writes with, I don't know, someone. Anyway.
There's other
Clayton,
stuff too, man. You're falling down on that one.
I know. It's a long list. Dude, written too many books.
Yeah, it'd be nice if I had written better books, but hey, I wrote a lot.
You can have good and fast. You can have, fast and cheap. You can have good and cheap, but you can't have all three. That's what that is.
Yep. I always
and each time you pick two, and you never pick good. No, that's too mean. I can't even stand behind it.
No, it's true. I always miss at least one version of that pyramid. So.
Okay, so we brought you here to heckle you and generally beat you up, and also talk about you wrote another book. I hear. Did you want to?
I wrote half another book.
Half another book. That's the secret.
It is. Writing half a book is pretty awesome. It's twice as good as writing an entire book.
Yeah, that sounds like math for sure. I'm doing it all wrong, man. I'm not only am I writing stupid long books, I'm doing it.
You're writing 3 books, which is 3 times as bad as writing 1 book. 6 times as bad as writing half a book.
Yeah, I gotta quit that and start with the half a book shit.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Although, unlike Clayton, I have a will to live. So.
Oh yeah. The only thing that keeps me going is pure hatred. So.
Say one thing for Clayton. Say that he won't say no to a bad idea.
Exactly. It's the only thing
I also won't say no to the bad idea. I just won't follow through after saying yes. So.
Sure, Mahir is crying somewhere right now.
Yeah. We're gonna write that book one day. I promise.
Yeah, I don't promise, but one day.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, well, anyway, let's talk about the book you guys actually did write.
Clayton, you want to give us some backstory on this this recent project?
I had got a wild hair and I wanted to write a horror novel. And I originally wanted to write this sort of haunted derelict spaceship. And Mike said, no, fuck that. Let's write my book.
It stings because it's accurate.
So,
like, what an asshole! Oh wait, no, that's true.
That totally tracks. That tracks 100%. Put up with this.
Because I enjoy it.
Okay. So, what did you actually write?
So, what we ended up writing is a sort of real life beyond redemption. What if belief became reality in the real world, and how would that really fuck things? So.
I think I remember you pitching that idea to me.
This idea has been tickling in my brain for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And I never actually sat down to write it. Because I was always like, yeah, but I gotta write this fantasy thing. I gotta write this fantasy thing, and I don't have a horror following at all, so it seemed like a bad idea.
There's probably an awful lot of overlap between the following you have.
I hope so.
Good amount of crossover.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say I know I've got a lot of followers from HWA, which is just from picking up on Cold West and stuff. So But yeah, so we did all that, and we kind of dropped it into a hospital to really kind of up the squick level, and yeah, it kind of went from there. And I think it turned out really solid, to be honest.
Surprisingly, yeah. Like surprisingly solid. I mean, because we didn't know how it was going to end. I think we hit the 80-85% mark where we sort of stopped and, got together and we're like, okay, how the fuck are we going to end this?
Well, there's an added challenge with the genre too, because it's like with fantasy, it feels like, the ending isn't exactly guaranteed, but like there's a certain shape to it, the ending of a fantasy novel that you can kind of see coming. But with horror, like
only with lazy writers.
I mean, no, because it's like okay, I'm not gonna fall for this. I'm not gonna fall for this. I'm not going for it.
No? Shit.
Yeah, no. But with horror, it's kind of all up in the air, right? Like everybody dies or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think this happy ending is just gonna fucking blow people away.
The cupcakes, the unicorn. The unicorn came and saved the day, and everyone is fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. With horror, you've really got you've still got your choice, just like fantasy. I mean, you can go with the grim ending, you can go with the hopeful ending, you can kind of go with the period ending where nobody really wins. So there's all those options, and I think what we really were aiming for was more, and it's in big red letters in our notes. Try to make this as close to a movie as possible. So we wanted to go with
okay.
We wanted to take. I think at least I did, and Mike probably did it without thinking about it, which is that stuff comes more instinct to him. We took a lot of the horror tropes and we kind of played with them a little bit and still made them recognizable. So
yeah. So you took a lot of inspiration from horror movies, or
I did at least
because you're kind of a horror buff, like you're up. Movies. Yeah.
And I read quite a bit of it too. So I mean, you consider I grew up on Clive Barker and Koontz and Stephen King and all of those guys. So Robert R. McCammon.
So this was probably inevitable for you to hit this. Yeah.
I think our different takes on fantasy may have clicked together really well. Like I was sort of I don't know how to write horror, like scary horror, but I was like, I think I can maybe build dread and tension.
Yeah, you can. You absolutely can.
And Clayton has like
the squick
body horror is like it's just in his genes.
That's not a very nice thing to say about a friend.
I was dead on.
Dead on. But he does it so well now. And so you kind of get both. And Clayton was right.
You need both.
We were like, let's make it super visual so that even as you're reading, people are going to be like, I see this as a horror movie. Right?
Yeah.
So super visual. And let's keep the chapters short. I think our longest chapter is maybe 3,000 words.
Yeah.
And so we keep it moving fast.
That's pretty standard for both of you though.
Yeah.
Like that's not unusual.
But really, I think this book is probably the shortest book we've written in terms of, and horror does tend to lend itself to being a shorter.
It does
too. So
I think we finished up at 88,000 words.
Yeah, but after
the first draft.
I'm going to guess after edits we'll hit about 90, 95. So.
Okay, so it's not a big drop off of your usual, but
oh no, yeah, no.
Okay.
But we're not outliers either. Like, you see like Justin Cronin's The Passage, that thing is like 1,200 pages. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, horror is another one that it varies widely. It seems like a couple of genres we get away with, like just most insane word count limits. Yeah. I'm trying to think how to ask about the plot without spoiling anything, because I suspect it's one of those things that...
Yeah, we can't really talk about the plot at all, I don't think. So How about you? Let's talk about like how we co-wrote. I know we've had this conversation
did
before.
You guys do the 3 chapter?
Sort of similar. Clayton, you want to take it away?
Yeah, it was very similar. I think this time we were a little looser with the way we did things. We both picked a point of view, and then we just kind of pounded out chapters as we could, as we had time. Towards the end, I went back through and did a full read. Mike did a full read. We both did edits to where they were needed, and I don't know. It just kind of working a little looser like that, not so rigid. I think maybe even made the process even easier. But because there was still discipline, and there was still structure to it. But because we did have, or at least Mike had a lot of notes for, these are the beats we need to hit. So, God knows I can't take a note to save my life. So,
no comment.
Yeah. So we did much like previous ones. We'd sort of plot 3 chapters, write 3 chapters roughly. This time the 2 stories really didn't intersect until kind of much later in the book. They're all happening. So the entire story takes place in one evening inside a hospital. So it's like it's over like a single really 8-hour hospital shift kind of thing. So it's like it's got to be pretty fast. But I mean, it's not until right near the end where the 2 stories sort of train wreck together.
Okay.
Which meant we were we had a lot more freedom as to what we were doing with our own story. So Clayton, he had this direction he wanted to go. I had a different direction, and we both just went nuts. And then, so around the 80-85% mark, we sort of stopped and we're like, all right, how do we smash these together?
And the nice thing that came out of it was that we have this kind of villainous arc going on, and there isn't really this, like Mike said, there isn't really this meeting of characters for a long time, but there are effects that ripple through the entire story that one character deals with that are caused by the other character. So there's still a sort of synergy there that, God, I hate that word. kind of happens. So.
Yeah, that was really, I want to say happened like mostly by accident, because we were kind of aware of what the other one was writing, like because we'd check each other's chapters and stuff.
Yeah. But you were.
But it worked way better than I sort of expected, because the stuff that Clayton's character was doing early, really kind of landed later in the book for the character I was writing. And so the reader gets to see all of that going on and knows that the other character just hasn't seen any of it yet, and it's waiting for them. It's
a very maniacal laugh. Oh, boy. Wow. And I guess it can't be that much of a surprise that you guys are at this kind of shared insanity now, because this is the third or the fourth that you've done together. Third,
right?
Yep, third.
Yeah,
and
I think also you guys edit for each other too. Like I remember with Blackthorn, Fletcher was all up in that book. I remember watching him yell at you.
Yes.
about what to do and stuff. So it's like I
you
can
make it sound like I'm pushy
now,
and demanding.
Yeah, that's not supposed to sound like that at all.
No, it was kind of nice because we had a comment from John, from one of the readers there, that he, unlike Norilska, he couldn't tell who had written what, which means we're kind of hitting this convergence of styles when we work together. So that's making a big difference, I think, too. So
yeah,
that's
it reads like one amazingly good writer gave 2 characters completely different voices instead of 2 half-ass writers,
which some writers can do on purpose.
Some.
That's actually really fast. I would be curious how many people could clock on Norilska, because unfortunately for this experiment, I know who had written who when I was beta reading Norilska. And Clayton, I was familiar with your style at the time, and then Fletch, you were new to me. So when Cat's chapters hit, I kind of didn't really know what to expect. But it would be interesting to know of both of your readers, like if people can tell, and then to see how they respond to this new one if they can no longer tell. That's really cool.
Yeah, we talked about there's a little thing that we're gonna experiment. We're gonna try to. I think. I don't know how much of the cat I can let out of the bag there, but and we're gonna kind of see if people even twigged who's writing what. So
yeah. Overall. So you're not gonna tell people, like as you go through stages, like you're not just that one's mine.
I don't know.
I think you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Don't confirm it. Just do that really obnoxious author thing where you're like, it's in the reader's hands now.
Death of the author.
Yeah, exactly. Death of the author is Clayton stabbed him in the back alley.
I think if the last couple of test readers sort of sign off on this and it doesn't stink, which looks like it might be the case, we are going to shop it because horror seems to be doing
horror seems
okay right now. Unlike
it's having a resurgence.
Yep. And in that case, we are thinking maybe pseudonym, because it's not like we're like hugely well-known horror writers.
Michael
or for that
Snyder.
matter, hugely well-known fantasy writers.
Which is what I was kind of that was the bush I was beating around that Mike just trampled through.
Yeah, sorry.
So you're gonna put your names together. You're gonna make some.
If we self-publish it, we'll just do it under our own names. I think. Yes, it does make sense. But if we do manage to sell it, then we'll see. We'll see what publishers, agents.
It's probably best to keep my name off it because I'm poison. But
ouch. We're supposed to bully you. If you bully yourself too much, then I'll feel bad and I'll have to start saying nice things about you.
Oh, that's horrible.
It takes so much to make you say nice things.
Yeah, but the whole exercise was that he was here so we could bully him.
Ah, okay. But what do I got the book's done. We should have done this like months ago.
No, because if you bully him too much while he's writing, then he stops writing and you would have killed him.
Yeah, I probably would have snapped.
Snapped and just like thrown a bottle halfway across the continent and hit him in the head with it.
I'm not Paul Bunyan.
Yes, you are. We saw your camera. We know what you're up to.
It's an optical illusion. Speaking of, I'm not sure what this is up here. I think it might be a giant spider, so I'm not turning around.
Yeah. I don't even see anything, so now I'm really
never mind.
concerned.
It's just a dot on my screen. That's okay. I'm just hallucinating. That's fine.
Which is what makes you the perfect co-author for a manifest delusions in the real world.
That's a reminder to clean my screen every now and then. Good.
Oh man! So, are you able to talk about your characters at all a little bit without spoiling anything? Because it takes place in a hospital, so I guess what I'm fishing for is: are they both patients, or is one of them some poor, hapless hospital staff?
Yeah, I think we can probably give a little away. Okay. My guy is Marcus Albright. He is kind of this genius surgeon.
Okay.
Sort of a golden child, sort of a guy. Ego to go with it, that sort of thing. But he's actually very good at what he does. So.
That makes him an excellent character to terrorize.
And the other character is a bit of a pothead and works in custodial at the hospital.
So you're reaching for right what you know.
I am not a pothead. I don't smoke dope at all.
Yes, dear. Not yes, dear.
An alcoholic is completely different.
Right. I don't smoke them. They're edibles.
I don't even like getting stoned.
Yeah.
It's just not me.
Anymore?
Yeah, anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I don't know.
Somewhere in my 30s.
Yeah, somewhere in my 30s, I
just stop.
Turned the corner.
I had this conversation with my wife the other day, and she told me that she wishes medical marijuana was legal here too, for my sake. So.
just to chill you out a little bit.
To chill me out a little bit. So.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Clayton, but that does not surprise me in the least. And I say that very affectionately.
I am minorly high strung. That's fine.
Yes, it's fine. It's great for your blood pressure and for the blood pressure of everybody who lives with you.
That's why she's in the other room.
Oh man.
What else we got?
Yeah. So no, I don't got anything. Okay, so let's pivot into like inspirations then, because you said you watch a lot of horror movies, Clayton.
Oh,
was there anything specifically that you would cite as like a direct inspiration, or is it more?
Oh yeah, I recently saw this sort of indie flick on Prime. It's called The Void, and it's about a cult that kind of surrounds and condemns this hospital to be infested with cosmic horror, basically. And it's very well done. It's actually very well done. It's great. It reminds me of like early Clive Barker stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot of it, and that kind of gave me some ideas, because there's cosmic horror, there's body horror, there's dread, there's all this sort of weirdness going on. It's just a really kind of fun flick. But I've seen some more recent stuff that really made me want to kind of dive deeper into horror. Smile was really good. Late Night with the Devil. God, there's been a bunch of very good stuff recently. Talk to Me. Shockingly, a couple of those are from A24, which I historically
you beef with them.
Yeah.
You have like this major one-sided beef with A24.
I have this major argument with this art house style of horror, and it's not. It kind of, to me, that it kind of misses the point. It misses the point that horror is about people, and when you're elevating it to art house, it becomes about sticking your head up your butt and smelling your own farts. It's just it becomes less about the truth, and it becomes more about what I can do.
Right. Yeah, I think I know what you mean, though. But yes, a couple of them have hit you just right.
Yeah. Yep. Smile. I love Smile. That was just done so well, and it really is a creepy movie. Yeah, that one was probably a good, solid inspiration for me, kind of turning back to horror and going, God, I wonder what I can do here. So.
Yeah, that's kind of a good feeling, like just jumping back into your roots a little bit. I'm surprised it took you this long.
Yeah, the thing is, I read so much horror and I watch so much of it that it's almost like I've created this buffer where I don't know how to break through and write horror.
Oh, okay. That does make sense. Where it's almost like it's this other thing that you witness rather than something that you're participating in.
Right. Even though I'm kind of, submerged in the crap. It's very difficult for me to kind of drill to the center of it and go, okay, this is what I want to do with it. So
how did you like break through that for this project? Was it just having Fletcher whipping you, or
the constant abuse?
Yeah. You admit it. You thrive on it. Admit it. It's like 3 books of this shit now.
Leave me alone. Stop messaging me. Stop messaging me and telling me what.
But how did you break
through? Sends a message in Dutch at 3 a.m.
He loves it. He loves the attention.
Yeah. So, as far as getting into it, I just thought it was a good idea. I thought it was a good entry point. I have a couple other ideas that I really want to explore, and I'd never written it before. So I thought, well, this is, goddamn, it's a simple concept. It's, the characters are straightforward. Everything about it is perfect set for horror.
Yeah.
It's not high, I don't know how to put it. It's not what you call high concept, and that's not a bad thing. It's a great entry.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with. Yeah.
Straight up horror novel.
Yep. And I think that's what finally.
Yeah, and if it's like
for me,
and if it's people making their realities horrific, then it kind of it's right in line with what else you already have in your backlist.
And honestly, like Mike had mentioned, it kind of touches on fantasy, so that made it big. So. But there's really that thin line between fantasy and horror, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of crossover, especially when you slide into our darker half of fantasy where you're kind of dealing with very similar themes, like in Grimdark and in horror, where it's just like...
Yeah, I mean, there's loss of self and loss of life and all that.
Yeah, and also just kind of an inability to trust either yourself or your environment or in a very similar way. So yeah, I'm not really surprised that you guys went this way, but I'm really excited to see how it goes. It's a shame that I have a life, because I would have liked to read it. But I noticed you didn't even ask me this time, because you're on to me now.
No, I didn't have it. I just know how busy you are.
Yeah. Oh well. Eventually I'll have fewer kids in my house, and then I can read other people's books again.
I used to say that, and then I just stopped doing things.
Yeah, it doesn't get less busy. I know. Just let me live with the frail the frail delusion that one day life will be easier.
Yeah,
getting me through.
You think, okay, well, when they're gone, I can do all these things, and instead you find yourself waking up at 10 a.m. on Saturday and going, now I have 8 hours to play video games. Yeah, just.
I don't know why you say that like it's a bad thing, my friend. Sounds like a perk to me.
Yeah, I guess it depends on where you want to push your labor, but yeah.
I guess so.
All right, where are we at? We're getting close to the half-hour mark. What do you say we wrap this up here?
Yeah, that sounds good. I think. I'm really excited. It's a shame that I wasn't able to help out with this one, but I'm really excited to see where it goes. So,
I think if you want. If you want to read it, I'm pretty sure Mike has a PDF floating around somewhere.
Yeah, I want to read it. That doesn't mean I'm going to have time for it. He called my bluff there. Thanks a lot, Clayton.
Well, I tried.
Yes. Let's guilt her into it.
Come on, don't you love us?
What do you like? You're writing your own book right now.
After your editor has it, and you need one last pair of eyes on it, I'm your dude.
Awesome.
This has been recorded, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's evidence.
As if we stick to our word on what we say on this podcast. What other shit have we promised? On that note, let's bow out before we promise anything else. But thanks, Clayton. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me on, listening to my inanity. So.
I mean, we like you, so, it's a perk. It's a job perk for us now. All right. Well, thanks for coming by, and I guess we'll see you around.
All right. Sounds good.